Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, Farm Thinking Right out here in my lab where I do what I do for you. I got a nice little lesson for you today. The title is Funerals, aka Family and Friends Reunion. I had mine yesterday. Put my brother to rest, and it was a service second to none. Good deal. So you can talk about it because I got a few ideas and concepts about the funeral services. Let's go. Radisms 25 rule live by storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories about life. You tuning in, I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? We went on through. That's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is foolish. Disregard. Don't see me. A person simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right thinkers. Know thyself and two might not be true. All right, right thinkers. P Funk philosophy says funerals, aka our family and friends reunion. I had mine yesterday. Again, we had my brother's funeral service yesterday, and it was a great service, hell of a send off by a man of God who put everything about my brother's life in perspective so everybody can appreciate it, and he did a hell of a job. Personally, that's just my opinion. Everybody's entitled. I'm just letting you know mine. But I have been hands on with my sister in law and my two nieces with making the funeral arrangements for my brother. I didn't sign on for that. I don't know how, but I was a major player in the arrangement. I ain't got a problem with that. Why? I'm familiar with that. As a Mason, I've buried a few of my brothers, so I know the procedures. So I told her I'll take care of that. We used my church and we used my pastor. So I felt good about that, knowing I took care of that part of the business so she wouldn't have to worry about it. So yeah. But I felt good knowing that my best friend and pastor was the one who did the service, and he did a great job. Okay, from my perspective, and I talked to my sister-in-law and I talked to my two nieces. They all concur that it was a good service. I appreciate that my man did his thing. All right. So, but it was like all home family and friends get together to share in the memories, okay, of my dude. And for all those who he touched, far and near, they came to pay their last respects. It don't make a difference how you die or why you die. If you live respected, when you die, it will be regretted. Why? Because people are gonna miss you. If you wasn't a good dude, you wasn't a good person, everybody ain't gonna come into your death. Why? They don't give a crap. That's why. So if you got a good person when in death, you'll find out why the people who show up. My kids showed up. Moving on. Death is another way of what? Bringing family and friends together. You gonna always have a reunion when somebody dies. And I said that at the last funeral I was at. I said that before the funeral of that. I said at every funeral, this is our family reunions. That's the only time we get together. I hung out with kids or people I haven't seen since we was kids. Okay, we grew up together. They kids is grown now. Yeah, it's been a long time. So when death comes, it's like, okay, we all gonna get together and see a bunch of people. I enjoyed that. Even in the bad situations such as death, you still can find joy. That's the idea of finding uh, order and chaos. Mourning, death. We came in the service. Everybody was a little, slumber because of the occasion. But by the time my man got done, we was ready to go to Bourbon Street and dance in the streets. It's a celebration of my dude's life. That's the way we look at it. And he made it, drove it home with the service. Okay? But death is always the way to bring us together. And every time, I say it, every time we get together, when it's at funerals, we only sing each other when after death for somebody that we all know and love. We get together then. Okay, but you ain't gonna change that. We don't do the family reunion. My pastor, my church, they do 2 family reunions. They do it on both sides. We can't even get one going. So at death, they all come together. Don't make a difference. Family and friend, you're gonna put all your whatever you got down and pay respect. All right. I have a son and a daughter, okay, who both showed up to support me in my time of grief. They know what my brother meant to me, they know how he was, and they know him. So they came on the strength of who he was, but also there to be my support. I thought that was big. I was impressed with that. Not that I needed it, but the fact that they were there to support the old man, because they figured, you know what, yeah, okay, I'm good. I moved past that. But that's what they came there for. That's what your children do, okay? That's what friends do. You just do. You don't question. You just do. Whatever needs to be done, that's what you do, okay? And I was really impressed with everyone who showed up for me and my brother, my sister-in-law, and my 2 nieces and the grandkids, okay? We had a full house. I mean, yeah, it was people there to show their respect. And there was a bunch of them, okay? That's how you know a good person. When you go to a funeral, there's a bunch of people, that person in the casket must have been a good person. You go to a funeral, and I've been sad to say, but you go to somewhere, it's an empty house. Moving on. That means that person in that casket wasn't good. Simple as that. But I saw all my old family members, old friends from back in the day in the hood who all knew my brother. And on the strip, they showed up to pay their respect. And we all just kicking and having a good time. Okay, after the service. But that's what you do. You're going to have a gathering. We had a repast. 3 hours of kicking it. Perfect. Have a good time and get moving on. Then we went to the house and they kept going. So that's what we do. You know how we don't stop the party, don't stop. My pastor said, all right, 6 o'clock. I didn't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. And he said, brother, right? They left. We never know they was there. Why? They cleaned up everything. They didn't leave nothing behind. We worked out perfect. So that was all. I orchestrated that. I feel good about that. The church was happy with the people. The people was happy with the church. So it made good sense and it worked out for both sides. All right, where we go? I saw old family. I saw, okay, where we at? No, I got to go back here. Okay, yeah. So, okay. He had his friends and family from out of state come up. Now, he come from Maryland, D.C. He got a buddy, well, his buddy, who I know in name. I said, I know him. Well, I know who that is. Again, I was right. That was him. All right. Who came to pay their last respects. And that's what friends do. Now, he had a few that didn't show up. I was looking to see a few. I didn't see everybody, but some didn't show up. No big deal. I ain't going to do with that. But the people who do show up did show up. That's what we did. And again, where we at? I saw old family friend members that I haven't seen in years. And some since the last funeral of his mom, my pastor's mom, his mom. So I saw old co-workers, okay, looking, oh man, when you ain't seen somebody in a long time, it's good to see them looking good. Okay, and y'all could greet each other. Man, you look good. Yeah, you looking good. Yeah. So I had that type of day. It was all, to me, it was all good. The purpose why we did, sad occasion, but everybody to a man came for the reason that we all came to pay the respect. That's what you do. But I seen a bunch of co-workers I used to work with, out of town family members greeting me, and they know who I was. They all know me, okay? And the funny part is, I know them. And they don't know I know them because I'm pretty much laid back. And 2 of them came up to me. I knew them both, okay? But they didn't think I knew them. I know you don't remember me. Yes, I do. Called the name out to her. She said, she was surprised. I know, I've been knowing y'all for 30 years. Come on, I don't do that. And then the other one, I knew her, but I didn't know her. I knew somebody. I said, when her face said, yeah, that was Sarah. couldn't call her name out. But once I've been looking at you all day. So we had our little thing. Man, to me, I got goosebumps right now. I enjoy. How many people have fun at funerals? I enjoy it. The funeral, the gathering. Again, we can do about that. But yeah, seeing old faces and chance to chop it up for a minute. It was a good day. All right, so I enjoyed that. I even met some new friends who I heard about. Like I said, my dude, I know about you. I took his phone a while. I'm gonna argue with somebody. Oh, I'm gonna fight with somebody verbally. So I tell my man, I heard about you. We gonna do this damn thing. I'm gonna give him a call today. Matter of fact, just let him know it's on. Okay, let's go. So yeah, I got a new friend that's in D.C. I got a buddy in Arkansas, 7 years, ain't laid eyes on him. Okay, best friends. Okay, talk every day. That's what friendship is about. It ain't always got to be in person. But the thing about it, that's what happened in time. But I didn't, again, I met a few new friends who I had heard about, but didn't know personally. So it went both ways. I seen the old heads that I remember back in the day. That's new heads I hear about, but we got to meet. And everyone, to a man or a woman, was there for the same reason. And what you go to funeral for? To pay your last respects for a brother that you, a loved one, family or friend member. That's all. And when you do that, you take the time out and make that happen. Okay. Everybody don't do funerals. I understand that. But if it was somebody you care about, you try to pay your last respect. That's gonna be last time. Okay. We don't put that to rest now. That party's over. But now we can, like his wife said, I'm gonna move on with my life. I'm gonna live and make you proud. There you go. There you go. He would only want the best for you. So don't look at it. No, no, no. She did it. She laid out. She had me in tears when she made that statement. Why? That's what he would want. Moving on. Ooh, I'm good. I ain't got caught up today. But again, when it was time to speak, I took my little 2 minutes, said I gotta say, and got out the way. Why? I didn't want to. I had a little thing set up. I said, no, if I go down that road, it ain't gonna end well. And I just saw a guy wild out, so I didn't want to go out there and sick of all that nonsense. I just wouldn't kept it light. And my niece said, I thought you would tell one of your stories. No, that wasn't time to play the story. Wow, I got all choked up. So yeah, so it was funny. And you got to know you. You got to know. Moving on again. And when we did this in the beginning, what was going on was everybody was pretty much somber mood. It's a funeral, So you come in, you feel a little down, and it was cool. But when my pastor put the service down, man, they was ready to hit Bourbon Street. Everybody, we going to the repast. Why? It's time to party. It's time to celebrate. And that's when the fun started. That's the best part about it. The repast was a 3-hour love fest. We ate, we reminisced, we greeted, meted. I met my mother and my sister-in-law's mother for the first time in 34 years. We both heard of each other. We both know about each other. We never met face to face. So I did that. So a lot of things in death can bring the other stuff together. That's all I'm saying. And yeah, it was a gathering and good times. Okay, moving on. All right, where we at? Where we at? Oh, we good. All right, where we at? Okay, now you had a good service when it ends with everyone leaving and feeling good about having been there, being there. The service, he laid it down to where the people would think that him and Ernie was best friends. And he used the information that he got from me, from knowing me about Ernie and about. So it was like he knew Ernie through me. And that's how you do that. You channel that into a person. You can tell anybody that the pastor didn't know that brother is in that casket. When I went to his funeral, the person who did the service didn't know him. When she said a few things about him, about his character, about his person, and everybody to a man went to look around like, not you ain't talking about him. Well, we know and that. So, and when you can put the guy's life in perspective, where people respect it, you ain't fluffing it up, you just be honest, straightforward, lay it out there, and get y'all to put the onus on y'all to live your life after this, because his is done. He got called home. I love the service, and the way he put it down, that made you feel good about it. So we left there ready to party, celebrate. Like I said, this is a celebration. And my pastor, again, gave a great lesson in what you do after the death of your loved one. Shell exemplified it by when she made the statement. So and everybody's pretty much on the same wavelength, and he just laid it out. And that was cool. My sister-in-law gave an inspiring breakdown of her love for her husband, how she's gonna live the rest of her life and try to make him proud. That choked me up. Why? She always good at everything she said, yeah, yeah. But when she got there, wow, yeah. That means you ain't gonna be forgotten. That's she telling you, no matter what I do, it's gonna be to impress you. I like that concept. So again, I like the service that she put down. Again, inspiring other people. It wasn't a sad solemn. When she spoke, everybody was understanding feeling, but when she hit that, I'm gonna do that, that hit me personally. But I was there when they got married, when they did their wedding, when they did their I do's. I was the witness. I was the male, and her aunt Margaret was for her. We witnessed why, because at that time they was young and nobody wanted to get married, and they just had to find somebody. I said, I got you. I'm with you. And she said, brother, right? You been? I said, I know. I've been here the whole time. I ain't went nowhere. And guess what? In his death, I ain't still ain't going nowhere. I'm still Uncle Mark. I'm still your brother. Ain't nothing changing. And to the man, my nieces said, I said the same thing to them. I'm always gonna be here. You ain't never a phone call away. That's family. That's love. Okay. That's my adopted family. They ain't blood, but they're just as close as anybody else to me. Moving on. Like I said, we got 30-something years. They got married, and what happened? Death do you part. They played it to the end. I ain't got no problem with that. Okay? Now, their marriage, I've been there for the whole time. Everybody has it, but they did it to the end. Moving on. And I was there when after the 34 years, they had their parting of ways through death, not divorce. Okay? There was counselors in marriage to tell people, yeah, if you've been with somebody for 30 years, you should have a few lessons that you can teach. I got that part. They want to do the marriage counseling thing. I don't know why you want to counsel people, but yeah, y'all can have some pretty good advice over the do's and the don'ts of being with somebody. Moving on. But again, my pastor, he used what he heard from me about Ernie over the years, and he put it all together in that service with the Bible. He laid it out, and like I said, you would not think he didn't know Ernie. You would think that he knew Ernie, like you knew Ernie, because he put it down, and that's what he laid out from my lessons that he got. I love this. I knew the deal. I knew that. But everyone who heard the service thought that my dude knew Ernie personally, because what he said and how he said it, they being his friend and know him, those qualities that he laid out, they know that about him. I made sure of that. Okay? So, yeah. You know when you have a funeral service. And we know it's a black thing. What you know, somebody gonna show out. Okay? AKA their ass. And yeah, we had one. I ain't seen a funeral yet that went without one of them. Okay? We gonna have it. And my dude, love him. Grew up with him. He's emotional. He wear his emotional on the sleeve. When my niece passed a few years ago, he found me, so he came to the funeral. Dude, before he left, he went and draped himself over the casket and then walked out. That was years ago, right? I talked to my sister every morning. I told her what's going on. She said, Plug showed out. She said, not again. Yeah, again. I told her what happened. I talked to my mother. Told my mother, Plug showed out. Not again. We know that's what he do. But I was thinking going to be my niece. I sat in the front row so I could be close to my niece or my sister-in-law just in case they needed some support. So I was just in there, just hovering, just doing what I do, just chilling. I done went through my grieving period, my mourning period. So I'm just going through the motions now, waiting, till we get through this. To hope we can without no problems. So I told you, every funeral service, somebody gonna show out, aka show their ass, And when he got up and started talking, mid-service, he went to the podium and picked up the mic and went talking about him and his boy Ernie, how Ernie helped him through his depression state. Yeah, okay, but I'm saying, my man, this ain't the time. This night, we do that after the service. So I'm freaking out. And I'm trying to be nice. I want to, just make no disruption. So I'm saying, cut it, just stop. And the more he talked, the more he went to, My sister-in-law had to get up, get some tissue, wipe his nose, and usher him out the way. So that was the one mishap. But the one who did it, we know him for doing that. But I said again, all right. So I sat in the front row for support for my sister and my nieces. And I was just there for the support because I figured anything gonna go little emotionally, awry, it's gonna be from them. I didn't think it's gonna come from my dude. Okay. And when he came up, I'm looking at the program, okay, they got the program, you follow the program. And the nothing on that program had his name on it. I'm looking around like, what? This ain't on the program. This is out the script. All right. When she helped him out. But I was ready for my niece or my sister-in-law to, may lose it a little bit, may need some support. So that's why I sat there. I purposely did that for support. Okay. They was cool. And I told my niece at the service, I was impressed. Why? Why do you think I sat next to you? She said, oh, come on. I said, yeah, I'm there for support. I don't even worry about it. But had you, not composed yourself, not conducted yourself, I was there for support. She said, I love you. Come on. That's what family do. Okay, that's what I told. That's what you do for family. And I'll be damned if my little brother, I call him my little brother, from the hood, from the block, he got up and spoke out of turn. I didn't say you couldn't speak, but dude, we do that after the service. And he said, big bro, I did something wrong. You broke protocol. Okay, I forgive you, but I know your heart was in the right place. But dude, you can't. Too late. It's already done. The damage is done. You up there like a babbling idiot. All right, so you live with that. And I was trying to find him on the program. When he came up midway through what's going on, I'm thinking, okay, they was asking to speak. I don't know why. That's Mr. Emotions. He carried his emotions on his shoulder. He's going to express himself, and he had his way. All right, but he wasn't asked, okay? But I asked him, what the was that? I just felt, we saved that. Yeah, I had a whole little spiel that I was going to do. But after seeing him lose it, I might want to be short and quick with my wife. I don't want to get up here and looking like that. Okay, so I had to just make it quick. No, not at this. We got back up there. Maybe 2 or 3 people went. I got up and said my little thing. His grandson got up and spoke. When he was so cool, I said, grandson, I said, nephew, I like that. You're growing. You're growing. He came up and spoke about his Gabby, how you gonna miss him. And for a 13-year-old kid, that ain't easy. But he was cool. The whole day, everybody conducted themselves in a very commendable job. We know everybody heard it. Okay, we get that. But, that like been there. They did. They accommodated there. But I was trying to find him in the program. He wasn't on it. So that means that wasn't planned. So I got to that. But I couldn't help it. I asked him, what the? He said, big bro, I couldn't help myself. I had to speak how I feel. We give you 2 minutes after the service. This ain't your first funeral. So I had to calm myself down, but he really got my eye up with him. So that's my dude. And again, I know what I love, but dude, it was just really out of line, out of turn. How about that? Okay, no, they apologize to me. Come on, they didn't even. But you sure had to usher you off, dog. So again, I enjoyed the service, and like I said in the beginning, I got to shut it down. But a funeral is AKA a family and friend reunion, and we did that. But in doing so, we paid our last respects. That's the name. That's the purpose of the funeral, and we all did that. We did it for the right reason. But I just want to break that down for you. Now I done put my brothers to bed. I done rest them. Now I can go on, and from now on, all my shows will be in honor of him because he's the one that got me started doing this damn thing, and I'm upset with him because you left me out here hanging. I'll still do it in your honor, though, my dude. I got you. In closing, Right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles that day. So I never know my right thinkers who now understand funerals, aka family and friends reunions. And I had mine yesterday that passed away. You will have yours one day too. Be prepared.